So what distinguishes the theater from any other art form is that it always asks one question. How are we getting along? How can we get along better?
The theater has a very particular job, which is to produce model societies. Throughout the history of the theater, what comes first are scientific breakthroughs, visual art breakthroughs, psychological breakthroughs. And then the theater has to say, how do we incorporate those breakthroughs into how we get along as human beings? Because the theater is the only art form whose subject matter is always how are we getting along. Every play is about that. And so it becomes a very important thing in a rehearsal to create a model social system, which then you share with the audience.
That human beings also have mirror neurons. That when we're watching, we're not just watching sitting back, we are stopping ourselves from doing what we see. And the clearer the action is on the stage, the more the audience is stopping themselves from doing what the actor is doing. Isn't that amazing? It's a whole different kind of participation. The theater of all the art forms comes closest to life, right? It's a kind of behavior on stage. You pick up a cup of tea, you cross the stage, you say all these gestures are very, very familiar. So audiences know them because we live with those gestures. It's not like abstract dance. So it means then that the clearer you are, the more communicative you are with the audience, which is why I hate shuffling on stage. You know what shuffling is? Shuffling's like this. Actors who do this, or actors who just wander around. No mirror neurons. But if there's a clear cross, mirror neurons happen. So again, what's happening between the audience and the actor is what is endlessly fascinating to me, and how that works in life, in the moment, in the present moment, in the room, in the shared experience. So part of our job in terms of what are we doing, ¿qué estamos haciendo, is to actually find out what is other and to put them in your plays, to put them in your productions. Whether that means actors, whether it means characters, objects, and it comes to cross-disciplinary creation is from other art forms. You put them together, you incorporate the other. So if you find yourself stuck in old ways of just working with what you know, the minute you put something other in, you are changed. Whose stories are you telling? Who performs those stories? Who do those stories belong to? So our job, in a sense, is to open ourselves to what we do not know and ask questions. And that's what we have to do on a daily basis as theater artists, is to go somewhere where you don't know, where you're disoriented, and you start asking questions and listening, of course. David Byrne, he was the head singer for the Talking Heads. He came to speak to students at Columbia University, where I teach in the School of the Arts, to the graduating. He said two amazing things, which I hope people heard, but he mumbled, but I was listening closely. Two things. One is choose yourself. Very important for everybody to learn, who is a group of young artists sitting there, graduate students. Don't wait to be chosen, choose yourself. But the second has to do with this point about the other. He said, if you want to make a career in the arts, and he's speaking to visual artists, theater artists, musicians, film people, they're all in the room. He said, if you want success in your career, you must cross-discipline. That you won't have success unless you do. And this is the world we live in now. That if you stick inside of the rubric of theater, you're in trouble. That if you want success, start crossing disciplines. That is also a way of incorporating the other that I find very key and central And in each project, how are you doing that? You can answer that in many different ways. Our job, in a sense, is to build bridges. That's what we're doing. And that's by reaching out. Find spaciousness and inclusion. Spaciousness that can include other people. I know as a director, that's my job. I create spaciousness. I try to create a place where we can live together, be together, create more model societies. The other job, in a sense, under the incorporating the other, is to follow your pulse. I like the way I'll choose projects is not where I think, oh, that's an interesting project, but if it gives me goosebumps, or much more poetically in French, a frisson de corps, that I get shaky. My body is a barometer for what I choose to do. That if I just think that's interesting, I'm not going to do it. But if I start shaking, literally shaking, then I know this is something I need to pay attention to. Follow the pulse.
I didn't invent the viewpoints. I learned it in 1979 from a really wonderful choreographer named Mary Overly, who essentially said, if you take away all assumptions, what is performance? If somebody crosses a stage, is it performance? If a chicken crosses a stage, is it performance? We were teaching together in 1979. I was much too young to teach, but I was doing it anyway. And she showed me what she had been working on, which is she was asking herself, what are the elements of performance? And she came up with, well, time and space. And then she started dividing those into categories. I took that and started developing in my own direction. At this point now, if the viewpoints don't change, with the research that we've been talking about, there's no point in it. Like, what scares me the most is people say, this is a viewpoints method. There is no method. As a matter of fact, I don't even use the word anymore. I like to use the word which I used for our workshop today, embodied problem solving. I have to keep saying, what is it really? Well, embodied problem solving, which is difficult to translate into Spanish. I've tried, and it's difficult. But it has to be a moving and changing exploration of what is performance, which was Mary Overly's initial question. What I hate and why I took the viewpoints and developed them is because I didn't like to work with actors who waited for me to tell them what to do. Because what I hope for is that an actor makes a choice and then I can respond to it. Because if it's all about me saying start over, I can say, I need to say something like, I think it happens on a diagonal. That's helpful. I like diagonals, but hey, diagonal. But then the actor has to make a choice about where exactly and when. And that choice is critical. But I'll end with my favorite quote ever, ever, ever. You ready? This is the best. It comes from your countryman, Pablo Picasso. The first stroke on the canvas is always a mistake. The rest of the work on the canvas is to fix that mistake. So for me, I have to say, who makes the first stroke? I'd rather the actor makes the mistake. Thank you very much.
Thank you.